Crawdaddy to no end. But just because I was a possum and had been known to play dead from time to time, and might have had a vision or two while doing it, that didn't mean he had to go blaming me for having to leave his nice, cozy den. Well, two could play that game. I decided it was time to throw another log on the fire. You see, I wasn't the mayor's only assistant. He kept me around to do all the legwork and take the blame, and because the votes of all my brothers and sisters and cousins came in handy whenever there was an election. His other assistant was the Earl of Sussex, a runty red squirrel who didn't know anything about Sussex except that it sounded grand when tacked on to the end of the name his mother had given him. He had himself some big plans, Earl did. Better make that big plans, as in someday being mayor himself. Crawdaddy made him an assistant so's he could keep an eye on him. "Your honorableness," I said, knowing how much he liked to be called that. "I guess you could just let Sussex handle it." Right away, the mayor's masked face popped out of his hole. "What's he doing over there?" "Talking," I said, though I hardly needed to mention that. When wasn't the Earl of Sussex gabbing away? "Two? Anyone who will listen? Several who won't." That did the trick. Imagining Sussex stealing his spotlight was too much to bear. The mayor flopped his roly-poly self out of his den and waved for me to lead the way. He wasn't about to go plowing through any snowbanks first. That was my job. Not a single word got said about how pretty the woods looked that night in the fresh jumble of snow. The lights from the city surrounding our park made the sky so glowy and deep that it was awfully hard to keep from stopping to gaze up in wonder. That wasn't all that was going on up above either. Lightning kept flashing and scraping the cloud tops, splashing pinks and even some greens around. So far as I knew, lightning was supposed to be a summer thing. Seeing it during a blizzard took my breath away. Hearing the thunder that went with it left me pondering what else this storm might have tucked away inside it. We kept moving, though. Once Mayor Crawdaddy started worrying about what the Earl of Sussex was up to, nothing short of a tidal wave or volcano could stop him. And we didn't get those kinds of natural disasters around here. Only tornadoes, hailstorms, and blizzards. Chapter 2. A Meeting in the Bog. We all lived in Theodore Worth Park, which we wouldn't trade for anywhere else. It's a big old hilly spread with hundreds and hundreds of acres that are surrounded by the twin cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Our homes stocked with woods and prairies, lakes and marshes, and one small, quaking bog, which was where we were being invaded. Rumor had it that the bog was the oldest corner of the park. It was always a little colder, a little stiller there than anywhere else. The plants there were different, too, as if they'd been hanging on for ages while the rest of the world passed them by. Tucked away in a shallow valley, the bog was home to spongy ground cover, bare tamarack trees, and marsh marigolds that were all being buried beneath the falling snow. It felt like a forgotten place in a forgotten land. We liked it that way. When you're surrounded by millions of people, being overlooked isn't a bad thing. It improves your chances of survival. There's a small pond at the bog whose water stayed black, no matter how many snowflakes tried to fill it. With winter just getting started, it wasn't even iced over yet. All the animals gathered near the pond that night were gawking and sniffing and tilting their ears toward our uninvited guest. The four-legged beast before us returned the favor, seeming a bit dim-witted or addled. He stood there munching on twigs and slowly shifting his large, dark eyes from one of us to another. Hard as he studied each